Dominic Smith. He got a new book out. It's called The True Success Story of an Underachiever. Y'all gonna be hearing a lot more about this book in the synopsis of my next live stream. This morning I got a special guest. Y'all already know what time it is. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, Gully land? Y'all know what it is. Your man Dawgface called wrong. Reporting live from the east side of Detroit.
What's happening, man? What brings you here this morning? I'm hearing a lot of things. I'm seeing a lot of things. You get a lot of coverage around here. What's happening?
A little bit. A little bit of coverage, man. I mean, but so the whole thing is that uh when it comes to getting coverage, bro, I'm I've been into a lot of things my whole life, Gully. So I've always been a covered person. You feel what I'm saying?
Right, right,
And so I'm not tripping about the coverage that I'm receiving right now. And I'm really not tripping about it because of the nature of why it's taking place, right? I'm not reveling in it because the nature of what my current string of coverage is about a black man lying on another black man for the purposes of trying to activate some type of nebulous plan to get off on. So I ain't gloating in it, man. It is what it is, man. But shout out to everybody who's been covering everything that's been happening with me, T Grizzly, the whole Wack 100 campaign. Wack has drugged Adam 22 into this whole lie. And then he tried to drag DJ Akedemiks into this whole thing with a lie.
right. I think when I had you on here the first time, people who weren't in the know, they didn't fully understand what you was alluding to. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Whack 100, he be in a whole lot of controversies, and a lot of people might try to drag him out into the public forum with different types of poignant accusations, but yours seem to have a lot more credentials attached to it, especially if it's been covered by DJ Academics. Tell me how you ended up on that platform.
Uh, so Academics has been following this whole thing ever since Wack and his whole exposure camp first leaked it and we're first trying to um, garner up some attention for it so that it was newsworthy. When
Yeah,
Wack 100 first dropped the allegations of T Grizzly supposedly being a snitch, he said himself is that he sent to 15 different people before he decided to drop it himself, and he said that he had to drop it himself because the 15 people who he sent it to wouldn't release it. They
yeah,
wouldn't come down on it. They wouldn't talk about it. They wouldn't carry his water for him. So he had
yeah,
to do it himself. So when he came down with it, he follows it's the yellow brick road. He starts with the whole clubhouse, right? He lodges his first level of accusations on Clubhouse. Then from
right.
Clubhouse, he goes to the Instagram,
Hmm.
right? And he tries to get his minions to drop it on Instagram.
Yeah,
And then once he seasons Instagram or social media as a whole with that, then he goes to his exposure type deal on YouTube. Once he goes to his exposure whole panel on YouTube, at that point, he's hoping that it has garnered enough attention for somebody like a Trap Lord Ross, a Seti Nash, Adam 22 to call him up to talk about it to give it some more life,
yeah,
right? And then once he passes the Adam test, he's hoping that he can get on Vlad, or he's hoping he can go to the top of the totem pole and get with academics. And
yeah.
that's exactly how it happened. And I said this a month ago, and I've been saying this for more than a year, and that is the procession of how he instigates things to the point to where it becomes something that a serviceable piece of information that somebody of a greater magnitude would want to hear. That's exactly what happened here.
What
So
happened? Hold on. What happened between our discussion? I think it was Friday, and now that caused DJ Academics to take notice of what was going on.
Adam 22, Wack took it to Adam.
Okay.
Wack was called up to change the command to go sit in front of the modern day Jerry Springer, aka Adam 22. No, Adam loved talking about stuff and love pointing out and love providing a platform for black people to act like niggas.
To
He
act the
loved it.
fool.
He
Yeah,
get
yeah,
off on that,
yeah,
right? So that's what happened between the last time we had the conversation to now. It is he took this whole lie to Adam 22, and then he took the lie to academics. He sat down with academics he had a phone conversation with Akedemiks where he was breaking down the details of what was supposedly had transpired between T Grizzly and Tony, aka Tony the Tattletale Johnson, aka Big Crip Baby Shooter.
Yeah.
So that's how we got here. So what happened is that T. So I talked to T. I've been knowing T since before he got hot. You hear me? I managed Wando. So when T Grizzly said the first day out, hey Wando, and it's a blessing. We made it out of Kentucky after all that happened.
Right.
What people don't understand in that Wack tried to expose T Grizzly for the crimes he committed in his adolescence, preteen adolescence, and in his young adulthood. T Grizzly has been more than forthcoming when it comes to talking about what he did. He was a robber. He was a smash and grabber. He was a thief. He had no problem with discussing that. But to your point, I got a phone call day before yesterday morning at about 10 o'clock. It was T Grizzly and Adam on FaceTime. So T told me, because I'm the one been leading the charge with investigating the veracity or the legitimacy of the documents that Wack been dropping, right? So the first document the Wack dropped, I bust that all the way down and proved that not only was the document fake in its structure, the wording, the content, and just all the connectivity in terms of them saying there was an officer named Detective Hamilton who took the report, who interviewed T Grizzly in a supplemental report after the initial police report was made, where they said that the house that got broken into. So this was supposed to be a supplemental report that only Tony Johnson, aka Baby Shooter, aka Tony the Tattletale, him and his lawyer were the only ones who had this document. So when I smashed that with a sledgehammer, after I
Right.
smashed that with a sledgehammer, Wack came up with more paperwork. Listen, bro. He came up with another fake document. Now
Yeah.
listen, Gully. You've been in the streets your whole life. You know how the game go. You've been into all your followers don't even know the degree of shit of stuff you've been into. They just know Gully TV. They don't know nothing
Right.
about how
Right.
you done been there and done that. So listen, Gully. So he's online with Akedemiks in front of hundreds of thousands of people saying that, aha, I now have the real paperwork. I only put out that initial paperwork as a lost leader so I could get T Grizzly to bite down and speak on it and deny it. And then I had this real paperwork already caught, ready to go.
Yeah.
So I
Ain't
put
that
that
a
first
bitch?
paperwork out just to get him to bite and deny it. But I always, you know how I do my thing at a Wack. I got the real stuff back here. So doing this conversation with Akedemiks, he said, Ack, I got the real work right here. I got 3 pages of the real work. Then he started reading from the work.
Yeah.
He started reading from it. And so I know that Adam, the Akedemiks audience was like, whoa, it sounds like he's reading from a real legit document, like real legal legalese, right?
Yeah.
So he said, man, tell T Grizzly, I got 50,000. I posted for 50,000. I immediately found that strange, and I found it odd, not just strange. I found it odd
Right.
because the history of Wack 100 is if you got paperwork. Now he is the kind of person who will lead somebody down the yellow brick road, right?
Yeah.
But in a case like this, where the first piece of paperwork that you put out there has already been dispelled as being fake,
Right.
at this point, there's no games to be played because one, you have a person's reputation and his name on the line, and you have your name on the line,
Your credibility on the
your
line.
credibility on the line, and the credibility of your so-called exposures who went and got information for you, right?
Yeah.
So he tells Wack, tell T Grizzly put up 50 grand, and so he said, tell T Grizzly put up 50 grand, and I'll send you the whole paperwork. So, and then he said, well, because it was a little pushback from Akedemiks. So he said, okay, I'll send it to you, but you got to post it on your page. So, Akedemiks said, well, you can send it to me and I'll review it, but I'm not going to post it until I check out whether it's legit or not. I got to do
Authentic.
my due diligence, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he knew that in that conversation with Akedemiks, that his reluctance to post the paperwork without attaching a monetary value to it, and then without attaching a promise obligatory promise that that academics would just post it without checking to see if it's legit or not. So he said, "Okay, I tell you what, I'll send you page one of the 3 pages I have." So he sent academics page one at
Right.
Gully. Page one. So academics started reading it, right? Of course, we don't see it because the only person who has it is Tony, aka Tattletale Johnson, aka Big Crip, Avalon Crip baby shooter,
Right.
his lawyer, whoever this is, probably been court appointed, right? And now academics has it. The courts don't have it. And mind you, the paperwork they're saying they have,
He
the
said
police
the courts
reports,
don't have it.
the courts don't have it. They're saying that the detective went out and interviewed T Grizzly. He didn't file it or submit it. He just took the paperwork and gave it to the suspect. He didn't give it to his higher ups. He didn't give it to his deputy chief. He didn't give it to the admin people and the clerk to file it. He just
It's
simply took
not a
it and
it's not a legal document.
right.
The
So
fuck.
then, listen. So I questioned the validity of the so-called because the whole police report is fake, the first one and the second one. But on the first one, I broke it down. So he says that T Grizzly picked out Baby Shooter, aka Tony Johnson, in a 6-pack photo lineup.
Yeah.
So I says, well, if a person is presented with a 6-pack photo lineup and the police ask them to identify or to see if they know anybody in the lineup, right? The person is required to do more than just say that's him.
Right.
The person is required to circle or mark what out of those 6 pictures, they're required to identify it by sight and they are required to circle it, right? And then initial it and then sign the so-called 6-pack sheet.
Right.
If the police were not required to have that in order to make that a legal binding document, then the police could say that a nigga said anybody on that list was the person
Yeah.
responsible.
Yeah.
No, that so-called 6-pack wouldn't have been a legal document unless T Grizzly circled the person and signed it initially that he did identify figure number 4 as the person who's responsible for breaking in his home, however he learned of the information. I said that should be a part of the report too. It's not just a dictation of the interview. And then you know that the detectives, a person like T Grizzly, multi-millionaire, he's been at the top of the hip hop game, right? You know the police would have recorded the conversation, Gully.
Fucking right.
They would have recorded it, bro, just to make sure that any details or the minutia of what was supposed to be happening here, and mind you, this is a follow-up report. So there's no way in the world the police wouldn't have went to his home to interview him without recording the interview.
For sure.
And then we discovered, like I talked about with you, T Grizzly was in Miami shooting a video with Future the day this so-called thing happened. But
Yeah.
they didn't know that. So when
Yeah.
they crafted this fake document, it was a bunch of information they didn't know when they crafted it. So I talked to academics. T Grizzly called me the day before yesterday morning at about 10 o'clock. I talked to him and Act for the better part of 2 hours, where in which I broke down how the documents, the first document that they presented as if it was real from Shooter, wasn't real, wasn't legit.
Right.
Act said he had did his own research and couldn't find it either. This is Academics, the biggest urban podcaster
Yeah.
voice in the land. Couldn't find
Online.
it,
Right.
right? So, um, so the second document, we didn't know what it was. So Act sent me and T the document that Wack had sent him.
Yeah.
As soon as he sent the document, right? Now, mind you, they're saying that T Grizzly, that the Tony, aka Tony Johnson, aka Baby Shooter, that the police are investigating him and are going to get ready to charge him for the burglary of T Grizzly's home because of the information that T Grizzly provided on him, right?
Right.
The
Right.
report that he made, picked him out the lineup, providing his social media, sending them pictures and everything, right?
Right.
The document was, I sent you the document, right?
Yeah. I got it.
It is a document from the second division of the California Appellate Court.
Right.
So as soon as I get a document on my phone, I look, I say, Act, this document is from the Court of Appeals. Baby Shooter has not been indicted, hasn't been arraigned. He hasn't been
Hasn't been
tried.
convicted. Hasn't been convicted.
And it hasn't been convicted. The
Yeah.
convicted part is the part. He
So
ain't
how
been
does it make?
convicted.
So how does it
How,
make it to appeal?
how do we make it to appeal if he's never been convicted of it? Right? So act like, oh, cause no, act ain't no, you know what I'm saying? He ain't no criminal. He ain't got no, he ain't me and you.
He
He
got
ain't been
common
to the county
sense.
jail,
Yeah.
right? You hear me? So he said, oh, that makes perfect sense. He said, I did try to research it. So I said, act, hold on. So I put, bro, it's simple. We live in an information age,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not criticizing academic because academic doesn't know the legalese. He doesn't know the legal jargon. He knows what he
Right.
knows about what he knows, but he's not a legal expert. He's not a black law dictionary
He hasn't
expert,
experienced it. Right.
right? So I pull up my phone. I go to the California's appellate. I Googled the shit, and it came up Second District California Appellate Court, and it said case. Add your case number. So I copied and pasted the case number from this document 23 Charlie Charlie Delta, I believe 01424. Right?
Charlie Delta.
Yeah, you know how we do. You know how we do,
Right.
Gully. So and to be specific, it's right here 23 Charlie Charlie Delta Frank 0124. Right?
Yeah.
Right there. I got the document that this is what Wack sent academics as proof that T Grizzly did in fact tell. So I
Slop.
went, I showed academics. I get my other phone out, and then I went to I pulled it because I got multiple phones. So I pulled this phone up, swiped down, screen shared, and I went to the California Appellate Court website, and I put that number in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It came up double. It came up all nothing, naught, nothing, zero, zilch. So I said, Wack, here we have it. I said, excuse me, academics. This is the second. So listen, a liar gonna keep on lying, right? That's the whole nature of being a liar. I would
Yeah.
rather deal with somebody who is straightforward like yourself without liking it or not to deal with somebody who's going a liar is worse than a thief, bro. Because a
Yeah.
liar will put you in a position to where you will put your life on the line to defend. How many people do we know? How many women do we know have lied to their family about some abuse they suffered at the hands of a man, and then the family go over there and bust the old boy up, get killed, go to jail? How many
Yeah.
times have your homeboys, you from where you from? I'm from where I'm from. How many situations you know guys in jail for a lie their homeboy told about something happened in the street? Somebody dead or in jail. So Wack one, listen, in your zest, in your zeal, and in your need to be right versus backing down off of it, right? And fading black on it,
Yeah.
you doubling down on the lie. And you creating fake paperwork at the fake paperwork. And then he's saying, well, I didn't know. So now his thing is, now Gully is, well, I didn't, shooter guy, I got it from the shooter guy, from his wife, from his
Yeah.
cousin, from his
Yeah.
brother. I
Yeah.
haven't done my due diligence.
Yeah.
I haven't put it through my fact checking
He
process.
been he
I
been
have,
doing this. He been doing this. You just one of the first people. Wack is banking a lot of this slanderous shit he be doing on the fact that if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a
put it in
book.
the,
Put it in a book. And you went by using your resources, you went in the book
yes,
and it didn't exist.
didn't
I wonder
exist.
how many people he's done this to. He's making a living off this. This is all in regards to him creating content. He know that if he attach a big name person to, it's two types of ways to slander a nigga online. One, call him a snitch, or two, call him a blade. And
Mm-hmm.
Whack 100 know that. That's what he did right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did right here. I want y'all to go to DJ Academics page on YouTube, the Academy page.
Both
And
pages now. Both of them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna put it in the description
Got
and
you.
listen to the discussion between Whack 100, Dawgface, and Academics. I want y'all to see. I want y'all to see and listen to him. Listen to this liar as he's on the run from being revealed. Whack 100 is using tactics that'll get somebody hurt. I mean, he don't care. He's not in the
Well,
streets.
listen. So listen, brother. So I always tell people when I talk to black people, for some reason, Black people in the ghetto, they don't read. They don't really research. And when they do read, they pick up all the wrong things. Like, for example, uh, The Art of Deception, The Art of War, 48 Laws of Power,
Yeah.
Sectarian Gospel, the Aquarian Gospel, all tools, all pros, PROSE, not pros, is pros like in the dope games, right? They
Right.
pick up literature, right? We ain't even gonna go there. They pick up literature that exemplifies or teaches or instructs them to utilize tools of manipulation and deceit to gain an advantage over people who look just like them, or to put the people who look just like them into a disadvantaged situation. Whenever I hear somebody talking about, well, I studied the art of war. I studied the 48 laws of power. They think they saying something slick. Man, that's all devil. I ain't gonna get to the religious connotations, right? But that is
Right.
all deceptive, trickery by deception. That's all
Counterintelligence.
I call it Edomite teachings. For
Yeah.
those who understand supreme language.
Yeah.
Listen, whenever I hear somebody say, "Well, I prescribe or I subscribe to the art of war," I've read the art of war. Look, here go 48 laws of power. Whenever somebody does that to you, you know you're dealing with a snake. You know you're dealing with a liar, a thief. Everything the Old Testament says about the behavior that leads to the collapse of a society, you know that's what you're dealing with when somebody tells you they're a student of the art of war, 48 laws of power, art of deception.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. So what was the I didn't listen to the whole discussion. You sent
Gully.
it to me just prior to us going
I
live.
got to, yeah.
What was the what was the punctuation on the conversation after
Oh,
you
the punctuation is I call Wack a bleep. I call his wife a no good bleep bleep. I called his mama a wretched, dirty bleep bleep who should have
Yeah.
squatted and pushed him out.
I
So the
can't
punk,
believe I can't believe he's
I
existed
can.
this long.
You
People be
just
getting
said it though.
online. People be getting online strictly to be entertained,
Yeah. You
right?
listen, you can believe it. I want to push back on what you just said. You just said you can't believe it. And you didn't really elaborate into what you yes, you can. Gully, because
You busted him in detail though.
yes,
Twice.
and listen, bro. So most of the people who operate in the world of entertainment, sport and play, we call it sport and play, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Most of the people who are indulged in sport and play, most of these people have no moral compass. Most of these people come from failed backgrounds and failed environments, like most of us do.
That's
But
the
they,
that's 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 the body of the viewership on YouTube.
yeah,
Which you just described.
yeah, and
These aren't
well, and it's like you have more of a sophisticated audience than a Whack 100 does, because
that
people who prescribe or subscribe to him, they are people who want to be lied to.
scumbag
They want to be entertained through the art form of lie and deception, because
by
you
all
have to
means.
know what you're gonna get.
By
When you look
all
at
means.
you look at your audience, right? I watch Gully TV. So when you look at, all you have to do is like you might have one asshole who come in and be spamming because they don't like Gully for their reason. Might be one of your haters who jumped into a character and started spamming whatever. But when
Yeah.
you look at the body, when you look at the just your overall the communication between you and your chat, Gully Land, man, you can look at how they respond, how they react, the questions they ask, and
Yeah.
tell that you have more of a highbrow
Yeah.
chat and a subscribership than somebody like a Whack 100.
Right.
So the people who subscribe to him, they, I, I'm proposing, they want to be lied to. They don't mind being lied to for the purposes of trying to of entertainment. They look at
Likenesses attract.
yeah, absolutely. Like Bruce Lee said, water sinks to his own level. It sinks his own level.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. So the point, the explanation point was he hung up. You- hey, you ain't never seen Wack get into a verbal Java stream. Man, he told Act, said, man, Act, man, he looking for, I don't even know this guy, man, but he from Pontiac, Michigan. You don't know me, but I was born in Pontiac.
Oh, shit.
Wait a minute. You said, Act, I don't even know that guy. Man, he's from Pontiac.
Yeah.
But you just said you didn't know me.
Sound like you do know of me. Yeah.
Right. And we listen, I sent you, we had a 2-hour conversation, me, him, in Loose Cannon.
Yeah.
So you don't remember the 2-hour conversation that me, you, and Loose Cannon had before you tricked Loose Cannon off the street with his dumbass. So you don't remember me and you get into it about 42 Dub. You don't remember me and you get into it going back for about the BG accusations. You don't remember none of that.
I do.
But he don't though.
Yeah.
And his merry band of exposure idiots doesn't either. So the punctuation was he hung up. I finished my conversation with Akedemiks, which was another hour, and then Akedemiks, for the appearance of fairness, called him back, and he started telling Akedemiks, mad at first of all, he was hot. You know he was mad.
Yeah.
Anytime Wack 100 hang up, go to Akedemiks page, any of them, and you'll see the headline says, Wack finally made his match.
Yeah, that's the first time I seen that type of title on a video. Yeah, he overpowers everybody, whether it's through yelling, profanity, or some deception.
And then he said, hey, check it, Gully.
Tightened his ass up.
He said, hey, Akedemiks, he got curved out by somebody. He apologized to somebody. He talked about my conversation with Anton Daniels.
Yeah.
Where we're talking about the condition of Black people in America. Right. Where we did a review of his content where he said something negative about Amanda Seals in relationship to Charlie Kirk. And we started cussing him out because we didn't like how he was handling Black women. Right? So when he came on he came in our chat, asked for the link. I brought him up so we could have a conversation. And he said, hey, listen, y'all guys could have reached out to me, man. But instead y'all call me beat, right? And I said, you know what, brother? You're right. We could have reached out to you, but we did exactly what everybody else does. That when you review content, you don't always reach out to the person who created the content for you, review the content. So it is what it is. And then the content we're reviewing, Gully, the content that we reviewed was what he said about Amanda Seals. He's reviewing what Amanda Seals said about Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump and the whole Republican or conservative ideology. He didn't contact Amanda Seals just trying to seek clarification. He just came down on her with his review. So for the purposes of not wanting to get into a back and forth with brother, to disarm him about the conversation we weren't talking about Cardi being Offset. We were talking about the overall condition of Black people in America and the things that we do to ourselves and how we harm ourselves. So therefore, I didn't want to continue to go back and forth with the brother. I said, you know what, brother? My bad. As a man, my bad, bro. I apologize. I should have been more. I could have been more. I could have handled it differently. So he's saying that is, how do you know about that? Don't forget you don't know who I am. That wasn't world news. That wasn't world news.
Yeah.
So what that shows you is that he has his spies watching me.
Yeah.
Then he says, he tell Akedemiks, tell THRU to put 50,000. On the FaceTime call earlier that morning, I went live with him that evening. THRU said I'll put up 250 if he could produce paperwork showing I told him somebody. Produce it.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said that I will send it to you, Act, so you can secure it. And I said, I'll put up another 100. I'll put up another 50. So his whole thing is, you ain't got no money. You stay in a $3,000 house. So listen, now you being funny because your spouse has been watching me. And the things you have said during that conversation lets us know they've been watching me. Y'all been watching me. So for you to say, I'm from Detroit. Oh, no, you're from Pontiac. How you know that?
They watched our discussion and everything.
Yeah, he did. You know he watched Gully TV.
Yeah. He watched that discussion on Friday.
Yeah, you know he did. But see, what happened was he didn't know the Akedemiks was going to call me up here. It shocked
Yeah.
him.
He didn't
So he was
expect that. Yeah.
no, because he started saying, "Man, he want to see content. He trying to get content." The whole purpose of being on YouTube,
We got content.
we got. What are you talking about? The whole purpose of
Money
being
on the
on this
flow.
whole thing
It's all over the flow. Money on the flow.
is money on the flow. He act like he don't get a YouTube check. Hey, listen, for all the people who talk about y'all just and listen, you have podcasters, YouTubers, and influencers who operate on the you or in the YouTube streets saying, "Oh, you was you trying to get content." Yeah, yeah, but that doesn't mean that we're liars, though. It doesn't mean that we will resort to and sink to the level of a Wack 100 to
Yeah.
create contrary evidence or contrary opinions or thought processes on people for the purposes of trying. And listen, black people do enough dumb shit all by themselves, all by their lonesome. You don't have to conjure up and make fake allegations in order to get
Yeah.
content. All you gotta do is open your eyes, turn on your TV, turn on your computer, look at your phone, and you're gonna see stupidity on full display by black people in this country.
24 hours. 24 hours
24
a day.
hours a day.
He's figured out that I mean that's his brand. The paperwork thing. That's his business. That's what he brings to the table. You just happen to catch him out there. But it ain't no telling how many people he did this to, man. And when it happens to certain people, they might not have their own platform to get the word out about what happened to them and shit. But he's been getting away with. I'm positive this ain't the first time that he did something like that because
No.
I'm gonna keep it real. Like, uh, as much as paperwork is presented, paperwork is an industry on YouTube. As
Mm-hmm.
much as much as I've entertained paperwork discussions and heard and listened, overheard other people talking about paperwork. I never been to Pacers.com.
Uh-huh.
I've never been there. If I receive some paperwork, somebody sent it to me. But I believe that's the case with most people. Ain't nobody going and read that shit. They just come to the discussion and participate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's true. I mean, there's less than 1% of people in America, less than a tenth of a percent of people have a pacer. Less than a hundred of a percent of people have pacer. They don't even know what pacer is, bro. And
no,
then pacer only gives you federal. All crime ain't federal. Like baby shooter crime is not federal. The
right.
whole burglary of a house is not a federal offense.
So let me ask you this: if it was never no documents filed, no legal documents filed, is it a crime? Was a crime committed? Okay, it was a robbery committed, but if nobody was charged, it's not a crime, right?
So listen, so that came up. So his thing is, well, T Grizzly and his crew, they leaked the videos of baby shooter telling them who did burglarize his home. They
Okay,
leaked it.
okay. That's how it
But,
came. All
right.
right.
But what they ain't saying though, Gully, is Whack 100's chief spy, his name is Ghost. Ghost did a whole segment on Baby Shooter and played the videos of Baby Shooter telling T Grizzly by name who robbed his house, who set it up, who orchestrated it. Baby Shooter's a Crip. He told on schoolyard Crips, neighborhood Crips, Mexican Crips, Avalon Gangster Crips.
So he
He,
just he basically just did that to expose him on the West Coast that he told on all them people.
yeah, Whack 100 crew did that. They exposed
Yeah.
it. They didn't want to put it out there.
They
They didn't
gonna
want
get
to put it on the
somebody killed.
platform.
Get
His
somebody killed.
spy did that.
Yeah. Before we get up off here, I want to get some I want to get your words and opinions on the murder of Big U's son. I did a brief video yesterday, but I was in the mall. My reception wasn't so good. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of I seen last night everybody seems to have the same explanation that it was karma. What you got to say about it?
What I have to say about it, brother, is another unfortunate circumstance that led to the loss of a life of a black man who probably wasn't even in his prime.
Nah,
It
he was a
is
young dude. He was young.
it my what I have to say about it is this. is another example. We talk about Donald Trump. We talk about Charlie Kirk, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about politicians who are self-serving and they don't represent us and the things that affect us and things that will help us become better people as a society. It is an example of us being at our absolute worst again.
Yeah,
I don't know the politics of how he lived his life or whether he was banging or whatever. I
he
don't know.
was.
But what I do know is, I mean, if you are somebody who's lost somebody, no matter how thugged out somebody was, it's still somebody's family. So my prayers go to Big U, the young man's mom, his family, his friends. Because even the worst of us, if he, and I'm saying he was a bad person, but even the worst amongst us have people who love us and cherish us and are affected by the loss of life of anybody. So I just want to send my condolences to the family, and I hope that people who may find themselves in a situation like that, either on the receiving or giving in, I hope they'll think twice about what they do and how they do it, and how they choose to exact punishment, and how they choose to handle whatever discrepancies or disagreements they have with each other, bro. Because if we as a people don't start to do the work necessary to change us as a people, then we're gonna forever be lost, bro. So that's all I got to say about that.
I really, really appreciate your time. I need you to send me those links again. Well, I can copy and paste them out of my phone.
I got you.
I'm gonna put the links to the discussion between Wack 100, Dawgface, and from DJ Akedemiks channel. I'll put in the description, and y'all can catch up to everything that we saying. Dog, I appreciate your time. Tell them where they can find you at online, and we out of here.
Hey, listen, you can find me on YouTube at Dawgface TV Podcast Unleashed. You can find me on Instagram at Dawgface TV Podcast and the most dangerous voice in Detroit and the YouTube streets on Instagram. The YouTube streets panel. We be going there. You know what it is, man. Salute to the Gully land. Peace.
Y'all know where to find me at on Instagram at I am gullytv _. Make sure that y'all go to my website, therealdribble.com or pa-knit.com and get you some merchandise, dog. It's been a pleasure again. Very informative. Thank you.
Salute, brother.
Peace.